The Beatles' mop-top haircuts and cool clothes set off a battle between the generations that you've got to see to believe.
Well, shake it up, baby, now. Twist and shout. Come on, come on, come on, come on, baby, now. Come on and work it out.
When the Beatles came around, everybody freaked. They just loved the look, they loved the music. It really revolutionized the way people dressed. It revolutionized the way people wore their hair. It started, I think, a revolution in America.
My haircut right now is very mop-toppy.
It was the matching suits and all sort of the same hair.
I guess I could have kind of a Beatles haircut myself right now.
They're the OB, original boy band.
Teenagers loved how the Beatles looked, but adults were shocked by their long hair.
Did you hope to get a haircut at all?
No, thanks. I had one yesterday.
What about those hairdos?
What do you like about the Beatles, anyway?
I like their music and the way they dress and their hair and their look.
They look like girls to me.
They do not.
Are you a boy? Are you a girl? When you are a boy, you look like a girl.
If I was a psychologist or something, one would say that the Beatles, looking less male, were therefore more attractive to little girls because they were less frightening.
They're so different. It's nothing like we're used to. You don't see any long-haired boys in New York City, certainly. So,
well, would you want to see long-haired boys in New York?
I'd love it.
When the guys with long hair started getting the girls, it was all over.
The teenagers in this town, they all seem to want to pattern themselves after these Beatles, and consequently they are hurting us, barbers.
Is that a Beatle haircut you've got?
Yes.
How'd you work it out?
Well, I just let my hair flop around until it's all messy.
What do your parents say about it?
They don't like it.
Kids having long hair was the first outward sign of an inward change. It was a break with their parents, and parents didn't like it. As more American kids began to imitate the Beatles, grown-ups hit the roof. Boys got kicked out of school for wearing boots, tight pants, and growing their hair.
Send me your call. It's time to go home. I gotta come back. My hair is up.
Why, in your opinion, has hair, long hair, become the key issue here?
I think the school takes long hair as a symbol of a whole lot of attitudes about current American life.
You, by your appearance, signal an enormous amount of where you fell on a lot of different subjects.
Growing your hair was a form of disobedience that put you at risk in certain parts of the country. You'd get beat up, you'd get jailed.
It enraged people. I mean, I've seen the guys running out of the barbershop, you know, as I walked past.
The rebellion of the long hairs is getting underway. A 17-year-old, Davy Jones, has just founded the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Long-Haired Men.
For the last 2 years, we've had comments like darling and can I carry a handbag thrown at us. I think it's just had to stop now.
When I was a kid, my aunts in Liverpool sent me and my brothers Beatle suits, matching Beatle suits. And so we had to comb our hair forward, and, you know, I didn't have sideburns, but my haircut was cut with sideburns, and we had Beatle boots, and we ended up looking like mini Beatles.
Say the word, you'll be free. Say the word and be like me.
All of my friends and I wanted to look like the Beatles, so we all grew our hair long, we had bangs, Beatle boots, the whole thing. And it triggered an idea in my mind to start a business.
And clothes, and all this imagery is very important. This chic of it, this cool of it, this otherness of it.
Kids in England were beginning to sort of build up their own ideas about fashion and build up their own ideas about music. And instead of copying and doing everything from the States. And the first thing that really figured, I think, was the Beatles influence, you know, which I remember as a big lift in this country.
Just because we get around.
We were creating our own language and our own colour and our own roots. The idea of pop art, popular culture. And I know this was true of a number of the, you know, guys in the Beatles and in the Stones and the Kinks. A lot of the musicians came out of it looking good because they were at art school.
And I think the Beatles and us were the first to actually find that middle path between the artistic and the intellectual, and at the same time still be on the street.
England's very hierarchical, still is in a lot of ways. You know, how to use your knife and fork, what school you went from. And here were, you know, the Fab Four spitting out a new vocabulary that comes from that kind of revenge against the old idea of England that wasn't inclusive of the working class.
We were the first working class singers that stayed working class and pronounced it. Didn't try and change our accents, which in England were looked down upon, probably still are.
For our last number, I'd like to ask your help. For the people in the cheaper seats, clap your hands. And the rest of you, if you just rattle your jewelry.
From the Monkees to the Mod Squad to Laugh-In. Even Madison Avenue became mine.
Boutique, mad my colors chic, boutique.
We switch on the telly and see what's on the BBC.
To the BBC, to the BBC, yeah, yeah, yeah. BBC 1, BBC 2, BBC 3, BBC 4.
I think we're here to inspire each other. That's what it's all about, seeing something and making it your own. They had their clean look, which of course wasn't accepted as clean then, you know, with their suits and their haircuts. And then as they grew, they got looser and freer with their clothes and got into the whole psychedelic trip.
Grew their hair long. Even the President of the United States had his hair over his ears just a little bit.
The same four of us would be looking at each other and playing the same licks.
And those silly haircuts, yeah.
Those silly haircuts that you have now. He's got his now.